All right, Kelvin Leverenz and my buddy Devin Mahalik here with women's basketball, Leah Porath. Thank you for joining us and just giving us your time today, Leah.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So we got to look at Wednesday versus Whitewater first. Obviously, a huge game. I think a great way to just end your season. Did you realize going into that game that it was your last regular season home game as a Titan?
Yeah, I mean, I obviously had that in the back of my mind, but I was mostly just thinking about it as another game. Got to be ready, got to know the scout, know what we're doing, get ready mentally, and just kind of treated it as another regular game.
Was there emotions from you before, after, with the teammates, anything like that, where they were like hyping you up or like had a sentimental moment, something like that, either afterwards, before, anything?
It was more emotions towards us getting that big win. I mean, obviously we have a big week coming up, and we were kind of just all excited and saying like, it's go time. Like we got to go on a roll, we got to go on a run. Like more of those motions of excitement and drive for the next week.
Yeah, so I think that was definitely a game where you could look at it and say that that is the start to a roll. Did you feel that you needed that going in? Like, hey, this is a game that will get us going for the entirety of the WEAC conference and even into the tournament afterward, hopefully.
Oh, absolutely. And especially since, I mean, we were down by so much, like at the end, like seeing our teammates fight and scratch and, I mean, claw for getting back and winning that game is just what you want to see when the crunch time comes.
That game was definitely really crazy. You guys were down. I mean, it was back and forth the whole time, but you're down 10 with 7 minutes. Like at that point, facing the number 7th ranked team in the nation, like how do you mentally keep yourself in the game against one of the best teams in the country, knowing that you can try to come back and win this?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. It's tough because obviously they're a great team, and I mean, you don't want to get discouraged when things aren't going your way, but us playing Whitewater is, I mean, obviously a rivalry that we've had since, way before I'd been here, and us knowing them and what they do and just having that understanding for each other as teams, I think that really helped us stay calm in the stretch when we needed to score and we needed buckets, and we ended up getting them, which is great.
Yeah, you talked. So you said that you know them. What are you trying to like? What kind of weaknesses can you exploit in those moments that are like that they could like fall under pressure at this point? Is there times like that, or is it just you guys just trying to stay mentally tough?
It's a little bit of both. Like, I mean, obviously we watch a lot of film and scout to see things that we can do to our advantage, and obviously we know like their defense really well and their offense, and looking over some of those things, we're able to see and know and talk about in timeouts and stuff, like where we can get shots and what's open during the game and stuff like that. And I think, and we had a lot of good shots. They just weren't falling for us, unfortunately, like third quarter and fourth quarter. I think we just, I don't want to say got lucky, but we finally started hitting shots, and that's what we needed. The whole game, I mean, we were getting what we needed. We just couldn't, we just couldn't make anything. So we just did it at the right time.
Yeah, for sure. You put together one of the first threes that hit that stretch going down there. What was the feeling like when you hit that, and like how pivotal was it for you and the team that you hit that first shot, knowing that, all right, this is the start right here towards the end of the fourth quarter?
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit of a relief because I couldn't hit a three to save my life that whole game, and then all of a sudden I finally make one, and I was like, all right, like we're still in this. We're gonna make a run here, and I could just feel it from the team and the energy and from everyone else that we're not out of it, and no one's lost their fight and their drive to come back and win this game, and that's kind of what you want, like as a leader, that that your teammates have you back and are gonna help you come back and win this game too.
It wasn't just you either. It was Jenna Jorgensen hit a couple big shots too, and it seems like she's done that throughout the season, even going back to last season too. What can you say about her and her ability to just hit huge shots coming off the bench?
Yeah, she's an X factor for us. She's been clutch in multiple games, coming off and having that confidence to knock down the shots when we need them. And so when you know that, in the fourth quarter when we need the three or we need a shot, that giving her the ball, that's most likely going to go in. So that's just nice to see her confidence every game and her stepping up to hit those.
You mentioned too the defense of Whitewater. They gave you a press the whole game, and they did that against Stout the game prior, turned them over 28 times. It seemed like you guys handled it very well. You had a couple turnovers throughout the game, but I really didn't think it was a huge problem. How did you guys being able to break the press consistently give you confidence and it like open things up for you offensively?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like we know Whitewater very, very well. We've been playing, obviously, so does everyone else in the conference, but I think our coaches prepare us really, really well for these games. And I mean, we go over stuff like that in practice and we watch film on like what will be open and what's the best way we can break this to our advantage. And that's just a focus and really a credit to our team for sticking with the plan and being able to execute our game plan.
I want to ask you about one of the shots you hit because we've seen it throughout your entire career, just like your ability to create shots. So there was 8:43 left in the fourth. You like spun down left block and like hit a fadeaway off the glass. When did like obviously you've had the spin move for a while, but when did you just have the ability to create shots like that? Is that just in the back of your head, or are you just like doing that instinctively?
Honestly, it's one of my favorite shots is doing the spin move kind of pull up jumper. And especially like being able to bank it or having that on the left block has been just something, one of my go-tos when we need a bucket. And honestly, I don't really remember when I started learning or doing that move more consistently. I don't know, probably early in my college career, but I've definitely grown confidence with that shot. And I mean, my teammates have confidence with it too, which is kind of gives me the green light, like, all right, we need a bucket, like this is what I'm going to do. And it's hard to guard, so which is why I continue to do it and continue to get better at it.
Is it a different kind of confidence being able to hit it off the glass rather than just like going straight through the net? Because I feel like you just feel a little different when it just goes off the glass and looks that nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely different. Like I have a different angle, and I just on that side, I feel like for me, banking it is a little bit more of a safer option than trying to fade out of bounds and throw it perfectly into the net. So going for that bank shot on that left block is just kind of what I've focused on to make it a little bit easier of a shot.
For sure. So that obviously a huge game, and we're looking back at the first time you guys played. It was a similar situation that you guys were in this time. You were up 3, 7 seconds at Whitewater. They make a play for Grendal. She hits a 3 to take it into overtime. You were in the same situation on Wednesday. 8.1 seconds. Did you, before the timeout was called and they had a chance to make that play, were you guys expecting like the same kind of play to stop Grendal, or what was the talk in the timeout before that happened?
Yeah, I mean, the talk was definitely to learn from our first experience. Like we knew what they were going to do. We're up 3, like if obviously focus on not giving them a 3, which is what we gave up last time, like which is not very smart of us. So I think it was more like we know what the situation is and we know what we need to do to win, and it was us stepping up and executing it the second time to bring out that win.
You definitely learned from your mistakes then, as you could say. You made them look really silly. They did not get up a couple good shots and clutched out that huge win, and hopefully that gives confidence going forward. How much momentum does that win especially give you going towards the conference tournament coming up?
I think a lot of momentum. Obviously, they're ranked 7th in the country, so that's just a huge win for us in general. But having that be the game right before the conference tournament will help us a lot. I think like being able to, execute and fight back and all that stuff is things that you need going forward, especially when we're about to play 3 really good teams again, hopefully to make it all the way to the conference championship. So being able to execute that game is just a lot more confidence for us when we have to do it again in a day or 2 days and 3 days. Like it's going to be games turn around real quick. So yeah.
Before we look at Monday with lacrosse, let's take a look at just the season as a whole. What has it been like? Your last ride with the Titans this year, what has been the overall emotions and experience that you've had this year?
Obviously this year has been a little bit more special just because it is my last year, and it's kind of a bonus year since I was able to come back for my 5th year. So this year has just been kind of about making the most of it, seeing what we can do as a team, and try to get farther than we have been. Obviously, we didn't have the NCAA tournament the last 2 years, so that's kind of a goal to make that and hopefully go on a run in that tournament as well. So it's just kind of all like, it's a lot of lasts, but it's also been really fun and just kind of like this is a bonus year, like let's see what we can do type of thing.
Can you pick out some of those most fun moments? Like, can you pick out certain games, just times where you've made the most of your moments so far?
I mean, these last 2 games were kind of a big example of it. Like when you're having really close games against really good teams going into double overtime, or beating Whitewater, ranked 7th, like those are probably the best 2 moments and great feelings when you can, as a team, can pull those out. We've had our ups and downs this year, and for the most part, we've stuck together and we've continued to fight and get better every day. And that's all you look for in a team and in your teammates.
Yeah, you have the ups and downs. How have you been able to get out of the downs when you've gotten there? Because I think River Falls is probably an example. Playing there, that was just a tough game, not shooting entirely well. How are you able to come back? Is it practice? What is it that you're able to just pick yourself up and like still be that Oshkosh team like you guys are?
Right. I mean, it's a lot of coming together outside of basketball and, staying connected with your teammates, not pointing fingers, not blaming, stuff like that. When things go bad, it's everyone's, it's bad for everyone. It's not an individual thing. It's not you did this, you lost the game, stuff like that. And I think us being able to stay together outside of the court, or off the court, and I mean, continuing to be good teammates and good friends and just have each other's back has really helped us come back to get wins.
Hi, Lee. I'm Devin. I haven't said much, just listening to everything and chiming in now. But when you talk about those downs, so, as a leader and, the senior viewed as the leader of the team, is, do other of your teammates come up to you and kind of rely on you to bring up the whole team? Like these last 2 games, you talk about being pivotal for your career and so far this season for yourself, coming back twice in 2 big games to secure a pretty good spot in this WIC tournament. Like, what have you done personally as a leader to get them going? Because this is your last ride. So I'm sure you're going to want to end up on top as high as you can go. And you're going to need everyone else surrounded you to be compact and locked in as well, just as you are.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And I think about being a leader, I take a lot of accountability for when things aren't going good for us. When we lose or when we have a bad possession, I always think of what could I have done better? What can I say? What can I do to, bring up the team and to be better? And I think a lot of what helps our team is that reassurance, that bringing people confidence, and even when we go to the bench, telling the bench they matter in every single game, whether you step on the court or not, bringing the energy and being locked in and knowing what we're doing on the court, that all matters. And I think just that reassurance and bringing confidence to the teammates has really helped them grow and build and become better players, and has helped our team a lot too.
What makes you guys so close? I feel like your women's team, every time I look at you guys, all of you guys are always so close. What are you doing outside of practice games, or what just makes you guys so close and just have a good team chemistry?
Yeah, I think what's really good about our team is we all can hang out with everyone. There's not really a separation between this group and that group. Obviously, people have their best friends, but there's always been a welcoming feeling when you can talk to anyone on the team. And I mean, we try to have team dinners. We have people over for a trivia night. We watch the Packer games. We just have times when we're like, hey, who wants to go out to eat? Whether it's a big group or a small group, or it's just always kind of a different group of people that hangs out together. So we just do a really good job of getting to know each other, and that really helps to have each other's back on the court too.
So is there going to be any special dinners or events going on, before any of the games this week, or is it going to be more or less, locked in when you guys get into practice and the film sessions, looking at the teams, or is it going to kind of be kind of on the both sides, locked in, and then off the court kind of relax and not so worried and stressed about the next few weeks coming up?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably going to be both. Obviously, with hopefully playing 3 games this week, it'll just be a little bit busier. I'm sure people with school and everything will kind of want to come home and unwind and just relax for a few seconds, take your mind off things. But I'm sure we'll definitely try to do something just to make sure we're all on the same page, ready to go, and be connected before this big week starts.
And you talk about like the self-reflecting and like the relaxing that you and your teammates do. What is like an example of like that gets you off of like basketball and school? What are you doing to like ease your mind off of, you know, some of the things that are going to happen these next few weeks?
That's a good question. I usually come back and watch a movie. We play cribbage sometimes. We cook dinners, like all that stuff where it's just like just super relaxing and easy and just not much thinking to do.
Hey, you've been around for 5 years now. Has there been points where that has really been a pivotal moment for you, like just being able to come back and just decompress? Like, can you pick out any times where it's like, wow, that just being able to decompress really made a difference moving forward?
I don't know about a specific time, but I know that like my roommates and our teammates, like we can kind of tell when people need a break or are struggling, stuff like that, or not necessarily struggling, just like need to take their mind off things. And our I know like especially my roommates, like they've been so great on just like helping take your mind off things, or we'll just be like, hey, let's go see a movie, or let's go do this, or let's do anything else besides talk about basketball. And it's been helpful for like every single one of us, like since we are so connected and we do know each other and can kind of read each other and be like, okay, you need a break, stuff like that. It's been especially my roommates have been great to notice that and help with finding that relaxing time. Mm-hmm.
So Nikki Arneson has been around with you for the 5 years as well. What's it been like just creating that relationship with her and like kind of like building the team together, I guess, the last 5 years, building it to what you guys are? What's it been like, the relationship with her?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't ask for a better teammate than her. She's been a great co-leader these past 2 years, and also a great teammate the previous years before that. And she's someone that is very like laid back and like easy to be with. And I think that's helped. Like there's been no drama between us. We were able to not talk to each other or go talk to each other. Like there's never a moment where I don't want to be around her. Like she's a great friend. We're able to talk about anything. Excuse me. And honestly, most of our conversations aren't even about basketball. Like we come back and we just like hang out and do something stupid or say something funny, and it's just so like laid back. And even on the court, like she has been she's like a more personal person than me, so she's been really good on like handling all of those things with our teammates and being able to talk to them. And I'm more of like, all right, let's go, get on the court, get this done, get a defensive stop, stuff like that. So we kind of have different roles, which is really, really nice being leaders for our team, that we're different people and we have different roles as leaders, which just helps.
How much does this week mean for the both of you? I don't want to look too far into the future, but like being able to get some wins this week, just how much does that mean to you two, and obviously the whole team, but you two specifically?
Yeah, I mean, we've dedicated our last 5 years to this sport and to UWO Oshkosh, and we both have the same goal in mind, is get as far as we can, you know, win the conference championship, or conference tournament championship, go as far as we can in the NCAA. We've both made it to the Sweet 16, and so that's something that we want to do again, but also get farther. And both of us having that same goal in mind, and I know that we'll both do whatever we can to get there. Is just, that's all we're kind of thinking about right now. Nothing farther, nothing less, and we're just both on the same page. And I think that's what we need to hopefully get it done.
And talking about that and making a transition back towards more basketball stuff, how big has Coach Brad Fisher been throughout this entire process? The last 5 years and this year? How supportive has he been, and how just good has he been as being your coach?
Yeah, I mean, he's taught us so much about, the sport and things that, you think and then you realize that there's so much more to it. I mean, with the X's and O's, with the knowing how to be a leader, stuff like that. He's helped grow us as players, as individuals, as leaders, inside and outside of basketball. And being a player for him for the last 5 years has, been something that I would never want to give up or take for granted. And I just appreciate all the support that he's given us and everything that he's taught us, and all the dedication that he has to, helping us win basketball games. And it's funny because you don't realize how much goes into it until all of a sudden he's like, oh, I've been up since doing this scout. I'm like, oh God, like really? And it's just we appreciate so much of what he puts into helping us win too.
Do you have any examples of stuff like that, like in a game where he was just something that you would have never known if he wouldn't have been up at 5 a.m. doing that scout? Like anything from Whitewater, anything that was just like, wow, coach, thank you. That really makes a difference in what we're about to do.
Yeah, I mean, an example would be 2 years ago, the last NCAA tournament we had, when we won to go to the Sweet 16. We assumed that one of the teams were going to win, so we did a full scout on that team. But it ended up the other team won, and so he had nothing on that team. And he spent the whole entire night, all the coaches stayed up that whole entire night in our hotel room, creating a scout, watching all their film, watching all their games. I don't think he slept at all. And making a scout and a practice plan and a game plan for how we're going to win the game. And we ended up winning. We beat Bethany Lutheran to go to the Sweet 16. So it was just like a thank you. We appreciate it. Like, we obviously the X's and O's are a big part of like how we win games, and like knowing our opponent and everything, and just seeing that what he did to prepare us and know the game and know those players and their plays and all that was just extraordinary. Like, I don't think many coaches would do that.
So you're obviously playing, you, Nikki, the whole team, you're playing this week for yourselves and trying to do this for your team. But at the same time, are you doing it for coach as well, for all that he's put in and just trying to get the win as a collective team?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. He's never been past the Sweet 16 either. So, I mean, us trying to get him there as a coach and get him past, get all three of us, I guess. So trying to make this goal and get past the Sweet 16 and continue to roll and hopefully try to make the Final Four. Like, that's, I think, every team's plan, but that's something that is in the back of our minds that we're going to try to do for him, for, the athletic department, for the university, for us. Like, it's just kind of like a big goal that we're all going to try to reach together.
All right, so let's make the transition working towards Monday now. Lacrosse. You guys are the 4 seed. I think, given the ups and downs, I think you're probably okay with that. Do you even think about the seeding at all? Does it matter to you? Because you guys probably could be higher given some circumstances, but do you even think about it or care about it at all?
Yes and no. I mean, obviously I get a little anxious or curious about who we're going to play, but I mean, the reality is we always say, like, you got to beat the best. You got to beat the best to be the best. So whoever we play, you just got to go out there and execute and win. Obviously, we have lacrosse, which they're a very good team. Fortunately, we beat them 2 times before, but that doesn't mean anything in the WIAC. Anyone can beat anyone at any time. Games are always tough. People could have a good shooting night, stuff like that. So I think for us being the 4th seed, we probably could have got higher, but, it's things happen and COVID and all that, and we win games, we lose games, there's upsets, there's all that stuff. And I think us just going out there and being locked in and execute, I think, we'll see what happens, I guess.
Now, see, you beat them twice. The last time you had to battle in 2 OTs before coming home with the win in lacrosse. You were just coming off that ankle injury, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That was your first game back. You played 36 minutes. Was that the plan, to come back that day and play that much, or was that a little bit off schedule?
No, I mean, I would have enjoyed maybe a little easier first game back. my ankle obviously still wasn't 100%, so as much rest as I can give it is the best, for the long run. But I mean, I wanted to be in that game and play at the end of the game, and it also wasn't really my decision. My coach was like, "You're playing, so you say you're good, you're playing," type thing. So it was a great game. It was a hard-fought game by both teams, and fortunately, we came out with the win. And I wasn't even thinking about my ankle. It was just, you got to do what you got to do to get the win here.
Is your ankle 100% now? How are you feeling with it going into this week?
It's pretty good. It's a lot better than it was. I just get it taped up and go out there and play. It doesn't really bother me to the point where I think about it, and it kind of is what it is at this point.
So you mentioned anyone can beat anyone at the WIAC at any given time. So lacrosse, what makes them good, and what is their factor that makes them a serious threat for Monday night?
Yeah, I mean, they're a great team. They have a lot of very versatile players. They can drive, shoot, do a lot of the stuff that our team can do. They're a tough matchup. I mean, they have a lot of posts that can pick and pop, but they can also post up type of thing, and they have some really quick, fast girls that can drive and take it to the rim. And I think just containing a lot of that stuff and containing the individuals and knowing what they like to do and trying to make them go to their plan B type of thing is what will help us win that game on Monday.
Do you get excited to look at scouting reports? Just think about the possible ways that you can go ahead and beat teams. Are you thinking hey, I want to be on this person, stop them to do that? Do you ever get excited for things like that?
Oh yeah, I mean, we plan so much for teams, and every day we have a 3-hour practice, an hour film. We're always thinking of ways that will help us to our advantage and take away their strengths and stuff like that. And I actually like it because it's so interesting to see it from the coach's aspect of what they look for to win games. And it's not just the X's and O's. It's well, if we do this, we'll have a better chance of whatever, turning them over or get them to their weak hand, stuff like that. And that stuff has always helped us and been a way that really helps us win games. We're a very X's and O's type team. We don't just go out there and do whatever. We kind of know everything that they're going to do, so we're prepared. And if it helps us get one stop, that's what we're looking for. So it is exciting to kind of learn and know the team before you're going to play them.
And I think that especially will be a big factor going into this game, because lacrosse seems to have gotten hot here towards the end of the season. The close game with you guys, they beat Stout, who are the 2-ranked seed in this tournament, and then now coming off of Stevens Point, I believe. How do you slow down a team's momentum when they seem to be at their best right now?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be a tough team to play, especially for a third time, because obviously now we know each other very, very well. And I think, like I said, just trying to take away some of their strengths and make them go to plan B for a lot of their stuff is what we're going to focus on to try to win the game.
So they say it's hard to beat a team 3 times. Do you think about that? Do you feel any pressure going into Monday, or are we just we're just confident ready to get this win?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. I'm I mean, that stuff's on the back of my mind. We're gonna get their best game, and hopefully they get ours. And I mean, it's nerve-wracking. Some team could just be making all their shots one day or just feeling good, and I mean, that stuff can beat you, and especially in the WIAC, it's no joke. We're gonna be playing a good team every time we step on the court, and so I think what we need to do is just focus on ourselves and executing what we need to do, and hopefully that'll give us the best chance of winning.
Okay, so winding down here, last year's WIAC tournament, we saw some of the best of Leah Porath, I would say. What should we expect from Leah Porath this week in this game, and hopefully throughout the week and the next coming weeks?
For me, you're good. I'm gonna be ready to go. I'm gonna hopefully I have another tournament like I did last time, but I'm just gonna do what I need to do to win the game. And I know my teammates have my back and I have theirs, and we're going to go out there and give them our best, because obviously, like I said, every team is going to give us theirs. They're going to come in ready to go with a fight, and we're just going to give them our best, and that means that's for me too. I'm going to go out there and try do everything I can. So
I think that's a great note to end on. We're really excited to see what you have, what the team has, what Coach Fisher has. We appreciate the time that you've given us today, and best of luck this week and hopefully moving forward.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.